Hello, ladies. Hello. Let me get this right. Hello, everyone. Just doing some invites here. I believe I am about 5 minutes late, and I want to apologize for that. So welcome, and I am privileged to be here. I do apologize because you know what? I set up and I was ready to go, and that is exactly when a delivery man decided to knock my door. Right, so I'm going to be inviting some people. Hello, Derek. Hello, guys. If you see me looking down for any reason, it's because I want to invite people in, and I am excited to be here. Girl Power Ignite. And you know what we want to share? We want to welcome some people in. So if you see me for the first time, my name is Michelle Watson, and I'm an author, speaker trainer, business book creation mentor, and publisher. And I'm here today to share with you how you can write your business book and use it as a marketing tool for your business. Now I'm just inviting some people here, and please do invite individuals into this video. And you know what, we're looking to share content today. Feel free to ask questions, send me your love, send me your thumbs up, and I'm not going to delay because I know that time is precious. And you know what, just a shout out to Dallas and to Julia. And I'm hoping that I followed all the guidelines. I'm hoping so. And I'm just inviting people as we go along. So if I look away from the camera anytime at all, it's just because I'm going to be using another device to be inviting people into our talk. And thank you guys for jumping on. And as I said, you know what, I am going to be sharing with you how you can write your business book and use it as a marketing tool. And I do hope that the content that I share with you today will be very helpful for you. And I'm going to beat myself now because I left my book. But anyways, we will move on. I wanted to share some stuff with you, and I want to show you as I go along. But hey, if I need it, I will grab it. If I have to call my son in to bring it for me in a minute or anything, then so be it. But anyways, we're going to move on. Right, so I know some people may be asking, what is the difference? What is the difference between a business book and just writing a normal book, a story about your life, which we call a passion book? So when you're writing about your life, or you're writing about a topic that is dear to you, but you're not going to be using it specifically for your business, then it's called a passion book. So when you're writing that passion book, you don't, although you have to be obviously mindful of copyright, you don't have to be specific on certain facts. Reason being, you're writing about yourself, right? And only you know about yourself. So no one can argue the basis of your argument because it's about you. No one can say, you know, you're not the person that you've mentioned in the book that you are, because you know you. And that's something that they can't really go and do research and say, you know what, no, you're wrong. Whereas with your business book, you have to be on point, and you're looking to be sharing facts. You're going to be sharing content. You're going to be sharing things that somebody along the line may ask you for evidence for. So that is a crucial difference between just writing your normal book or your passion book and writing a business book. The second point of why it's different is that you are now going to be writing to appeal to people. So for instance, if you're giving away something just for free, you're not expecting anything in return, you might find that the way that you present it, the way that you do it is slightly different. However, if you're selling something, you're going to want to present it in a nice package. You're going to want to make sure that it's appealing to the eyes of the people that you want to sell it to. You want to make sure that it's appealing to, you know, your clientele, the right clientele. So that is the main thing. That's the main difference of why my business book is different from my passion book. Your business book needs to be highlighting your business. It needs to be highlighting you as the expert, and it needs to be highlighting your brand. You know, how do you want to look as the expert in your field? So that's the difference with your business book and your passion book. So we're going to move on, and the first thing that we're going to look at is the primary objective. Now, what we call a PO. The primary objective is why do you want to write this book? What is the purpose? So you're going to be looking at some questions. The why, how will they get access to the book? What is the impact that I want to make on the reader? What is the message that I want to get across to the reader? What is the difference that I want that book to make to my business? How am I going to use it? So you need to always have your primary objective. And I'm just moving on because I want to be sharing this thing. It's gone off the next point, but you know what, I'm looking forward to everyone also sharing along with me. But yeah, so you're going to be looking at your primary objective. Is there a need for the topic that I'm going to be addressing in my book? Is there a need? And there should be a need, because if you're starting a business, one of the first things that you're going to look at is your niche. You're going to look at your niche. You're going to look at what I'm providing. Is it a service that is necessary for the market, and you're going to be looking at these things. So when you're now writing the book, you need to make sure that the book is relevant to your market, it's relevant to your niche, and the book is congruent with your business. It's congruent with the message that you're putting out there. Right, exactly, Dallas. What's the difference that we want our book to make? Because you can't just write it randomly. That's a passion book. But if it's a marketing book, there has to be reasons behind it. There has to be, okay, what are the answers? What are some of the answers that my reader may be looking for? And the simple way of answering that is, what is it that I provide for my clients? What are some of the pains that they're going through? Because your business is the solution to those pains. So at the end of the day, if you're going to be writing your book and you're going to position it as your business book, then there should be some answers in there for your clients. The same answers that you would be giving to them if you were speaking to them directly. So I always say to individuals, when you're writing your business book, think of it as you are speaking to your avatar directly. So I always say to individuals, give your avatar a name. Give your avatar a name. When you've given your avatar a name, write down what are the pains of this person. So if your avatar, you've given the name Peter, for instance, what are the pains that Peter is going through? And you're going to answer these pains in the book. So that is the difference of having a business book and writing a passion book. So the first thing is the primary objective. What is the purpose and the reason behind you writing this book? And I'm continuing to see if I can add more people onto this video. And do remember, please do ask any questions. Feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to invite people onto this video, because the content will be is good content, especially if you're looking forward to writing your book. If I am speaking too fast, please do tell me to slow down, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So the purpose behind the book. Then obviously you need to do your research. And this is what many people don't realize. You don't just get up and you just write a book. You need to put some work in. You need to do your research. Because as I said before, that remember, people are going to question some of what you've written. So you need to make sure that you do your research. Your research is very important. Some of the ways, if you're wondering how you can do your research, it's not just about going into the library and getting a lot of books out and doing research. No, you have so many things that you can do. You can do free surveys. Send out free surveys to potential clients, people that have already been your clients. Ask certain questions and say to them, you know what, if you were going through this, what is it that you would want to know? And also, ask questions. For instance, if you have already worked with someone, ask them what was beneficial to you and why. So you want to share things that are important, because what I realize with clients that I have worked with is that they're writing things that is important to them. So you need to remember, your business book is not about you. Your business book is about your reader. So you need to be providing the information that your reader is going to need. There's no point of you writing a book and it's only beneficial to you. What is the point? Remember, it's going to be used as a marketing tool. So if your reader is reading this book, they want to see that you know what you're talking about. They want to see that you've gone out of your way to do some work and research to get your content. They don't just want textbook. They want you to share experiences from yourselves and from others. Hello, Felicia. Hello to everyone that is jumping on. If I'm not stopping to invite you, to welcome you on, I do apologize. I just want to make sure that I give you guys great content. I give you guys a lot of information that will help you along your business book journey if you decide to write your business book, and if you're currently marketing your business book. So I just want to make sure that I give you guys as much information today. So as I was saying before, you need to go out there, do some research, ask your clients what are some of the things that you benefited from with what I am doing with the work that I've done with you. Go out and ask questions. You can do interviews, YouTube interviews. You can look at the lives of others that have gone through what you are currently writing about, and that also helps. So when you're looking at the why, so that's the next area that I'm coming to now. So you're going to use your book as a marketing tool. So you need to say how you're going to use it. Am I going to use it for credibility? Am I going to use it because I want to get on platforms and I want to speak? Am I going to use it as a business card? So I'm going to be sending it out to organizations. I'm going to be handing it out to individuals as I go to events. I'm going to be using it as a networking tool. So these are some of the things that you need to look at. What is going to be the purpose of the book? And you may be saying, why is that important? It's important because then it takes into context the size, the amount of words. Some people use books that are like 20 pages and they're using it because they're using it as a networking tool. And when you're using it as a networking tool, it needs to be something that the reader can really read quickly, not something that is long. There's something new that people are using as well. Some people are using actually comic books to actually pass their message in the form of magazines. So people have this perception that a book has to be like 200, 300, 500 pages long, 50,000 words. But then it makes no sense if the reader does not read the book because it's too long. If you're using it as think about it. When you're seeing adverts, if there is a written advert and it's too long, what are the chances that you're going to continue reading the content? Sometimes very slim, right? So you need to make your book appealing. You need to make sure your book is interesting because you want to catch the eye of your ideal client. And possibly your ideal client is not someone that wants to read a whole biography of your life or wants to read 600 pages of information, even though the information may be vital. Yeah, so your book doesn't have to be 1,000,000 pages. What is important is the content that you're going to share in that book. Let the content be effective. Let it be congruent to your clients. Let it be congruent to your message, to your brand. That is what is important. So you're going to look at, am I going to be using the book to position me as an authority and as an expert in my field? So these are all the things that you're going to look at. Next year, when you're talking about branding your book needs to speak about you. It needs to position you. So I see some people, they're doing business books, and when I see the cover of these business books, there is absolutely no way that I would pick that book up because it doesn't have any interest to me. Hello, Maria. Hello. Thank you for jumping on. So I'm not going to just pick up any book. Your book cover needs to be appealing. It needs to say, wow, somebody needs to see your book without even seeing the title. It's caught their eyes. So make sure that your book cover is appealing. Make sure your book cover is appealing. Do not, so some of the ways that your book cover can be appealing. One, make sure the image is congruent to your title or it relates to your title. I see some people, they have people maybe in cages in prison and they're writing about something completely different, right? So if you're writing about a car, you want to put a sexy, eye-catching, appealing car on the front of your book cover. If you're writing about, your presentation, your book needs to have something that relates to that. If you're writing about car, why are you going to put a pop down, broken down, old, maybe 80s style car that is not eye-catching of today? So you want to put something like a Bugatti. I don't know why I've been talking about cars since last night. You're going to put a nice Ferrari, a nice Porsche, something that's going to be eye-catching for your clients, right? So your book cover is very, very important. People have asked me this before. Is my book cover important? Guys, yes, it is. It is very important. Right. Secondly, on your book cover needs to have a message about it. So you have your title, but you need your subtitle. So your book cover needs to be a how-to book. How to whatever. Or you're going to say 10 tips for, because what it is, the reader needs to realize that they're going to be learning something from your book. So writing a how-to book or 10 tips or 101 ways, these are the titles that you should give to your book. So your book should have your main title, but then it should have a subtitle that relates to what the reader is going to learn. For instance, if I was going to be writing a book about this video, the subtitle would possibly go along the lines of how to write your business book and use it as a marketing tool. Yeah. So that is how you want your subtitle to be. Make sure it's a how-to. Make sure that the reader knows what they will be getting from your book, because that's the reason why they're going to pick it up. If a reader is unsure of what they're going to get from your book, then they're not going to pick it up. Yeah, so your book cover needs to relate to that. The next thing that we want to look at, guys, I needed to jot a list because I love talking about this, so I know I could go on forever. So I just made sure I made points of what I'm going to be presenting to you today. Right, so if you're going to be using your book for visibility, right, so people are using their books for visibility and we're not seeing anything about the book. Anything at all. Listen, when I did my first book, my book was seen everywhere before I even finished the 5th chapter. Do not listen to anyone. If you've made up your mind to truly write your book and get your book out there, I'll tell you now, the quickest way, thank you, Felicia, you know what, I just love doing what I do, and the quickest way for you to do your book is to get your book cover and post it out there to the world. You will and start doing your pre-orders. Trust me, you will make sure you finish that book because you have people's money. Yeah, and integrity is very important. You can do pre-orders. You do not have to wait for the book to be finished before you start advertising your book, before you start pushing the book, before you start selling your book. You create a landing page. From the moment you get your book cover completed, you get a 3D mock of it, a stack, whatever you want to call it, a design. So basically, if you're wondering what a 3D stack is, if you can see this at the back here, so that would be like your 3D stack. And once you get that, you can start promoting your book, social media, everywhere. You're speaking about your book. That is how you get your visibility. You won't get your visibility by saying, you know what, I'm going to wait until the book is finished. No. Start working your book before you have even finished writing it. You can do your pre-orders. You create a landing page. You use that landing page to now grab individuals to get their information, because you want, when your book launches out, you have a database that you can start sending out invitations to, so that you can have a massive book launch at the end. So these people are already aware that this book is coming out. You create an excitement around your book, especially if you want it to become a bestseller, because on the day when you want to launch that book and you want people to buy it, then you want to make sure that people are aware that this book is coming. The next thing that you're going to look at your TPOP. What is your TPOP? Target population. Who is this book going out to? Some people say, my book is for anybody. My book is for everyone. No. Yes, you would love the fact that everybody would buy your book. But the point is, when you're writing the book, it needs to be targeting a specific genre of people. That's why I say, think of your avatar. And when you're writing with the thought of, this is the avatar that I have in mind. So you need to have a list of your target population. Who is the book going to be for? Because as you know, with social media, when you start putting things out there, you need to make sure that you're tagging the right set of audience for your book. Next, I'm flying through this, guys, because we have a lot. So next thing you're going to do, you're going to plan your book. First thing for planning your book, you set a time frame. I'm surprised that many people are writing and they've not set a deadline for when they're going to finish their book. The same way you do your goal list is the same way that you make sure that you do a goal list for your book. Okay, so if you're going to, so I am always working with people to finish their book in 90 days. So if you're going to finish your book in 90 days, in the first month, we cover your book cover, we cover your titles, how you're going to do your titles, and I'm going to quickly touch on that with just as I finish this section. You're going to look at certain things. So what you need to do is actually map it out. Okay, great. I want to finish my book in 90 days. This is what I'm going to do in the first week. That's what I'm going to do in the second week. By the third week, I would have completed this. I would have completed that. What are the days that you're going to finish each chapter by? So if you're going to have 10 chapters, you need to put a deadline and a date when you're going to finish each chapter. That is how you set your goals for your book. If I'm going to be putting out questionnaires, what is the day that I'm going to put out questionnaires by? If you're looking for people that's going to write forewords, you're going to also look at, right, so who are the people, who are the list of people that I would like to do my foreword? And if you're and this is what I'm going to share with foreword. If you're getting someone to do your foreword, get someone that's going to sing about your book. They're going to be happy about your book. They're going to want to tell everyone that I've written a foreword in this book. Come and see this book. Grab it. It's amazing. Some people write forewords and they don't do anything. Make sure the person either adds value to your book because of their status, or there's somebody that's out there that's being seen, and they will also draw other people to your book. Very, very important. Right. So back to the goal setting. Set goals for your book. Listen me. People are saying you need 3-4 hours to sit down and write. No, that's not it. You can write anytime. Have a notebook. Wherever you are, an inspiration comes to you, a thought comes to you, write it down. If you're not someone to write in a book, use a dictaphone and record yourself. And then you can compile all the information. Sometimes the reason why is because sometimes you will set aside a time to do something and things will happen. Just like today, I know I've set aside my time. I was prepared, I was ready, and then the delivery man knocked the door 5 minutes before I started this video. So in life, things happen. So to keep you on point and to keep you on your goals, have a dictaphone. Figure out what works for you. I know you have some people telling you, this is what you should do. That is what you should do. You know what works for you, right? You know what works for you. So that is what you should stick to. If a dictaphone works for you, use it. If writing works for you, I love to write. So writing works for me, but it doesn't work for everyone. That is what you need to do. So you plan it. Then you do your framework. Right. You need to structure your book. Do not write aimlessly. You will end up writing an encyclopedia or a dictionary, especially if you have a lot of content. Exactly, great, a cell phone as well, yeah? But bringing you back to my point, structure your book. Some people say they get writer's block. It's not writer's block, it's because they didn't create a structure. Now, what do I mean? So let me quickly jump into the titles. I'm watching my time as well. Let me quickly jump into the titles. For your business book, the first thing that you should be sharing is your expert positioning story. This will help to determine if the reader is going to continue reading your book. It's one thing if someone opens a page, it's another thing if they turn the page and continue to read. Right? So you need to make sure your expert positioning story starts your book. Why? Think of a presentation. You're going out, and this is the thing. You need to think of your book as going out to do a presentation. You're going out to share content on stage. When you're doing your presentation, think about what is the first thing that I do. I tell the audience who I am, what it is that I do, how I possibly may be sharing how I started. So your expert positioning story needs to be in the front of the book. So you're letting your audience know, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is the message. This is the why behind the book. This is what led me to where I am now. Because from that, people can also determine, is this a type of person that I want to work for? What I normally say to individuals is that when you're writing your first chapter, your expert positioning story, you are selling you. Many people think that they have to have an exceptional product in order for someone to buy from them. That is not necessarily true. You do want your product to be exceptional, but that doesn't necessarily determine if the person is going to buy from you. Guess what? I have gone to many events. I have sold many books, and I am sure, I'm 100% certain that not everyone that has bought my book has read it. Why? Because they bought me. You want your audience, you want your readers to buy you first. When they buy into your message, when they buy into you, when they buy into you as the expert, they will then trust you and trust your content. It makes no sense if someone's going to read your book and they don't trust you as an individual. They don't trust that you're going to be able to provide them the content. So your expert positioning story is very important. You're going to share a bit about you, how you became the person that you are, how you became a life coach, how you became a speaker, how you became a social media strategist. So you need to share your expert positioning story. Then you're going to break down your chapters into modules. Now, what do I mean by this? Think about your program, your service that you offer. And I want you to think about your client. What are the major things that you offer to your client? And you need to chunk it up. Yeah? So you need to think about, right, if you're somebody that works on mindset, to give an example, maybe you'll be thinking about, okay, maybe I'm covering beliefs, blueprints, mental state, maybe you're covering various things. Yeah, you need to then break it down. So what is it that I teach my clients? What are the main subjects that I want to mention to them and present the content about? Once you have then selected those chapters, stick with it. Unless you realize that you definitely have to change it, stick with it, right? Then with each chapter, what you're going to do, you are going to rant. What do I mean by ranting? Ask questions. Why is this topic important? Why would the reader want to know about it? What does society say about this topic? What are some of the tips and strategies that you can share? Contradict the topic. Because guess what? People are going to question you. It's just like you're on stage. You may say something, somebody doesn't necessarily agree with you. So think about some of the stuff that your reader may be thinking and answer those questions. So you may be thinking, for instance, I did a video yesterday and I said, information is useless. Somebody looking at that may be going, what does she mean by information is useless? Then you can come back and say, great. I know you may be wondering why I'm saying information is useless. Well, what do I mean by this? I mean that information without action is useless. So this is the very same thing that you're going to do with your chapters. You're going to make your reader start to think because you want to convince them, right? So because you want to convince your readers, you need to ask questions that may seem contradictory to what you are saying, but then you're going to give them the answer and say, this is the reason why I've said it. A common example, if you're talking about beliefs, you can turn around and say, great. So you may have heard about Santa Claus, right? And at one point in your life, you believed in Santa Claus. And they may say, yes, that is very true. So you could then turn and say, okay, great. So you now know that Santa Claus isn't real, right? Yes, they do know that. Great. So why did you believe it? Because my mom and my dad told me so. Great. Why did your mom and your dad believe this? Well, because their parents told them so. Right. So for me, beliefs is bollocks. Your reader's going to go, really? But you just told me that beliefs is important. But now you're saying beliefs is bollocks. Then you can answer it and say, well, think about it. If belief was passed on to you from your parents and their parents, then is the belief really yours? Because if you're saying that you have something, you have a belief, then it should really be yours, right? It shouldn't be given to you from somebody else. So I'm just giving you an example of how you can argue. So you're going to make your book be a bit of a debate, because the client is going to ask questions. They're going to ask questions. And as the expert, you want to make sure you answer those questions. Timing wise, okay, great. So I have about 10 minutes left to go. So I'm flying through this. So when I say rant, you are going to rant. Ask yourself. So I want you to write a frame of questions that you're going to answer. So let's say in chapter 2, you are writing about beliefs. I'm just using beliefs off the top of my head. Write as many questions that you can write that could come up about beliefs. And then you're going to answer all of those questions. Then you're going to share with them tips. You're going to share with them strategies. You can also share images. Some people ask, well, a business book, if I share images, will it seem professional? Hell yes. It will seem interesting because it lightens your book. You don't need your book to be too serious. Have fun with your book. Put jokes in your book. Ask rhetorical questions because you want your reader to start questioning themselves. Because guess what? When they start asking themselves questions, they will be interested more in your content. They're going to say, you know what? I want to know more. Another thing that you're going to do is what we call incomplete. You leave your reader incomplete. Now, what do I mean by this? You may say something very, very important and you end it right there. And the reader may think that you're going to go on and say more. You may be asking, why would you do that? Well, if you let your reader believe and feel that there is more, guess what's going to be happening? They are going to be looking to you for more. I went to watch Avengers. The Avengers. If anybody has watched it, they will know what I'm talking about. That's it. You want to engage your minds. I went to watch Avengers and I was on the edge of my seat because it finished and it left me incomplete. And I was ready to pay to watch the next series right there and then, if it was available. And that is what you want your reader to do. You want your reader to say, I want more. My first book that I did, people were like, it finished too quick. Guess what happened when I wrote my second one? They wanted it because they were like, the first one finished too quick. So especially if you're planning to write a second book, leave them a bit incomplete because you engage their minds. And then you can share links and say, you know what, if you want to know more, join my, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can join my membership site, whatever it is, and you sell it to them right there. Now, coming back to links, I want to share with you about QR codes because I've realized that a lot of people do not know much about QR codes. At the end of the video, because I left my book in the other room, I will quickly grab it and show you what the QR codes is for anyone that may not know what I'm talking about. So, in your book, you share QR codes. Now, with these QR codes, you enable your reader to just scan and go straight to your page. So, whether it be your website, whether it be your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook group, your membership site, you create QR codes and you put the QR codes on a page in your book so you can use that page as a separator. Yeah, I will share that in a minute. QR codes ? And you put that in your book and they're able to scan it. So the QR code is slightly like a barcode. And when the reader uses their phone and scan it, instead of them typing in your website address or searching for you on Instagram or searching for you on Twitter, they scan that code and it takes them, boom, straight to your website, straight to your Twitter, straight to your Instagram. It will take them straight there. I promise you at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you what the QR code looks like inside your book because by mistake, I left the book in the other room. Right, so you're going to be doing that and you're going to be looking at launching your book. I'm mindful of time, so I'm trying to touch base on a few stuff. When you're launching your book, you're going to be looking at getting the right people in the room. You're looking for people that would like to JV. It depends on you. It depends on what you're using your book to do. As I said, if you're using your book because you want it to create a platform for you, then what you need to do is get people that keep events in your launch. Don't just invite any and anybody. Have certain amount of tickets that you're going to make. Be exclusive for certain people. Have counselors, I don't know what you call them wherever you are. We have counselors, we have mayors. Get them into your launch. You may be thinking they're not interested. Put something interesting in the book that will draw them. Now, I'm going to come back to the launch bit in a minute. There's so much things going through my head. I'm going to come back to the launch bit in a minute. Right. So, thinking of going to buy what you're going to put in your book to draw more people. Some things that you can do is, one, you can sell a feature chapter, or you don't have to sell it. I don't believe in selling it. Some people do sell it, but you can have a feature person in your book. A feature person, a person of status, a person that is well known. You can say to them, you know what, I'm so enthused, I'm so excited about what you have done, what you've created. If your book is about startup and you know somebody that did that or does still do it, and they've really made it out there, they've made a name for themselves, you can say, you know what, I'd like to feature you in my book. They may say, you know what, I'm too busy. Tell them, you know what, don't worry about that. Guess what? I just would like you to endorse the book for me, and I will write your biography. I will look at your biography. I will write it. I will do it all myself. I will send it to your PA or your PR for them to have a look at it, to make sure everything that I've mentioned in there is facts, and I use it in the book. For instance, someone like Les Brown. I know someone right now, I'm being featured in that book, and he's writing about how Les Brown has changed the lives of individuals. Guess what happened? Les Brown is endorsing their book. Guys, even if he had written rubbish, I'm not saying he has, even if he has, because of the fact that Les Brown endorsed the book, people are going to be running out there to get it. Do not have this assumption that the big shot is not going to be interested. Show the big shot how the book can work for them. That's what they want to see. Many people are approaching big shots, but they're showing them how it will work for myself, but they're not showing them how it can work for the business people. So if you're a social media strategist and you know someone out there that is doing social media and they're big in it, they're not your competition. Don't just say they're your competition. No, say, you know what? I admire what you do. You're the one why I started doing this. I want you to endorse my book, and I want to feature you in my book. You were my inspiration. I want to feature you. I want to write a chapter about you. And you put it as a bonus chapter in your book. Guess what's going to happen? They will, because they're featured in the book, they will be glad to start speaking about the book. Put it on their social media. Believe me, it works. I got my book. Another thing that I'm going to jump onto. Time. I have 2 minutes left. Oh my God. Right. So the next thing that happened with my first book got a letter of commendation from Her Majesty the Queen. I should have brought that down to show you guys as well. My first book got a letter of commendation from Her Majesty the Queen. How did that work? It wasn't difficult. All I did on the news, they were talking. So my first book speaks about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, because my son has been diagnosed with it, and I've had a story behind that which is powerful, and I wrote about it. Now that month, the Queen, they were, both her and Prince Charles, they were going out and they were covering areas that related to mental health in children and all of these things. So what did I do? Autographed my book, sent a lovely letter to the Queen telling her how much I appreciate the coverage that they have brought to ADHD. Job done. Honestly, I didn't think I would get anything back from it. I remember going to an event to speak. I was away for the weekend. I came back and I saw this envelope, and it didn't look normal. It wasn't normal envelope. It was sealed, everything. I opened it, and it was a letter of commendation from Her Majesty the Queen for my book. Guys, that is great positioning for your book. It's great positioning for your book. These are the things that you can do. Think of the big shots in your field. Think of the people that you would like to say, you know, endorsed your book, or sent you a letter about your book, or tweeted about your book. All you need to do is be current with the news. Be current with the news. Be current with what is trending. And if your book has anything at all, even if it's one sentence, to do with what is trending, to do with what they're covering on the news, put your book out there. Hit social media with it. Send it to radio stations. Send it to the TV programs. You know, send it to guys, I was getting interviews for my book before my book was finished. Haunt stations, haunt radio stations, haunt TV stations. Send media releases out to magazines, send media releases out to newspapers, your community newspaper, send media releases out to the radio stations, send media releases out to online TV stations, to YouTube channels, whatever it is. Send media releases out. Yeah? I've been touching base on so many things. Now, there was something that I wanted to share. Great. So you feature people in your book and they will help you to use it as a marketing tool. Now, another way that you can use it as a marketing tool is, guys, listen. I know a lot of people say they're writing a book because they want to make money. Right. So the first question is how? Because I can tell you now, selling copies of book won't make you a millionaire very soon. Yeah. So I remember I had a client and they were like, yeah, I want to sell my book, £20. I said, listen, even if you're selling your book for £20, calculate if you sell one book per week or sell one book for the month, and then calculate it for the year and see how much you will be earning. Guys, your money doesn't come from the physical book that you are selling. Your money comes from what you do on the back end of the book. For instance, I have a funnel that is led from my book. You create a funnel. Now, what is a funnel? Some of you know about ClickFunnels and creating funnels. So you need to create your funnel, your business funnel leading from your book. So you can use your book as a lead magnet. You use your book as a lead magnet. So you can decide to have a Kindle version. Well, I will always say have a Kindle version for your book or PDF. You can now give that away free as a lead magnet. Grab the information, the data, yeah? Have it as a lead magnet. Then you upsell your client into your business, right? So one of the ways that you could do this, you can give away your book for free on the front end. Then you can then have something else. You can then, you know, I don't know what your level of business is. If I'm going to use one of my funnels as an example, with my personal development coaching, I have my book as a giveaway on the front end. Then I lead them to what comes next. I then lead them to an online course that I've created. That's something that I will share with you at some point. So you have your book as a lead magnet. Then you lead them to your online course, which for me, I do that online course for £47. Then from that £47, I have a masterclass that I upsell them to, which is then £97, and there's a higher level one for £197. Then from that, they can have a VIP day with me. Then from the VIP day with me, they can then go into my membership site, and then they can have a one-to-one. So you create your steps. So that's why I say it's always important to know why you want to do your book. And you make money from the back end of the book, not by selling copies. Guys, I've given away more copies than I have sold, but it has got me clients. If I give away £15 and I make back £2,000, guys, it's a no-brainer. It is an absolute no-brainer. If I give away a book that is £15, and from giving away that book that is a £15, I get a client that's going to pay me $2,997. then the job is done, right? But you want the book to also work for you without you having to be hands-on 24/7. So it's very important to create a funnel for your book that would lead to your marketing funnel that will upsell them into other things. You give away a digital version. Absolutely free. Another way of putting yourself out there: share excerpts from your book, share content from your book, do YouTube videos, create a YouTube channel and do YouTube videos. They can be 5 minutes, but you're just sharing something from your book, and then you leave them incomplete, and then you're going to want more. So guess what you do? You share the link of how they can buy your book in that video, and they will buy your book, because guess what? That 5 minutes that you gave them gonna leave them hungry, wanting for more, right? Then another thing that you can do, you use your book as a business card. You can then decide, you know what, I'm going to take a chapter out of my main book. I'm going to create a little pamphlet of just one of the chapters. And when I'm going to events, I bring it along with me. If you don't mind giving away your full book for free, then you bring it. Les Brown has received my book. Andy Harrington has received. Why? I go to the event and I go prepared with my books to give it away to them. I have my books everywhere with me, guys. If I'm taking the tube, I have one book with me. Even if I'm driving, I'm going to supermarket, I have a book with me. So keep a book. If you're saying you're going to use it as your business card, where would your business cards be? It would be in your bag. Keep a book in your bag so that you never know who you may see. I never forget, one day I took the tube and I didn't have my book, and guess who came on? The Prime Minister. And I didn't have my book. Guys, I was gutted. So it never happens to me anymore. Yeah? Have your book. It's your business card. Bring it everywhere with you. Hug social media. Get your book into organizations. Most importantly, your book can create so much content for you. So much content, guys. Your chapter, each chapter is a module. Each chapter is a module that you can create online courses with. You have the content. I've worked with a lady and I said to her, do your book before you do your online course. I think she thought I just wanted her as a client. I said to her, no. If you do your book first, you will have all the content for your online course. You will have all the content to create the program for your business. Because you will then use your chapters as modules, you will use your subtitles as topics, and you will be able to create so much content. I'm not going to lie to you. When I'm going out to do presentations now, it is the easiest thing, because I look at my book and I say, okay, great. What sections am I going to be sharing with the audience? What is going to be relevant to this audience? And I take it out and I just do my presentation quickly, and boom, I'm through the door. And it helps you to remember it as well. And that is the reason why you'll be able to present, and you don't need your notes. I've turned up at events and they said, come prepared with your PowerPoint. I've got there and the PowerPoint is not working. I said, great, give me a flip chart. And I just worked the flip chart. Yeah. So don't be too hung up on doing new content. You can expand on the content that you already have. You do not have to remake the process. Reuse the content, but then expand on the content. Expand on the content. That is it. Always be prepared. I can share so much with you. Sizes. If you're going to talk about sizes of your book, listen. If it's your marketing book, do not let your marketing book be too big. I would say maximum words, 25,000 to 30,000 words. Must be less, but definitely not more. Definitely not more. Because you don't want to put your reader off. Yeah, you do not want to put your reader off. You're looking at roughly 160 pages. Roughly 160 pages. But it must be less, not more. The maximum, that should be the maximum. But it should not pass that. You're looking at a 6x9 size, because you want something that the reader can put in their bag or carry with them wherever. I see people doing marketing books at some gigantic sort of, no. 6x9 is normally the basic size for your business book, because you're taking it to events and you want to do so much with it. Ask questions in your book. Give exercises for the reader to do to keep them engaged in it. Make sure the ISBNs that you're getting, it is relevant to your country. You may start to Google and you see some ISBNs and they are actually very cheap. It's not necessarily the right one to use universally or internationally. So you do need to pay attention to that. What else do I need to tell you? There's so much more. So you need to pay close attention to that. Share strategies in your book. You definitely need to share strategies. Share examples as well that they can go back and look at. Share quotes. People love quotes. Share quotes in your book that is related to your topic, because people love quotes. If you make quotes yourself, share it in there. Remember to reference. If you're using anybody's work, if you're using anybody's phrases, make sure you reference the work where you're taking it from. Look for the editor that will be able to make sure that if you've not referenced someone, they will come back and say, you know what, you didn't reference this point, because it's very important. You don't want to get sued for copyright, guys. So make sure you reference it. Make sure you reference your book. Make sure you get the right editors. Make sure you get the right designers. Some people are using templates. I hate it. Do not use, sorry, Amazon might sue me for this, but do not use Amazon's templates. Please, I beg you. It messes up your book. Get a proper layout person to lay out your book. Get somebody decent to lay out your book, because if you're presenting yourself as a professional, remember, it's a business book. It's a representative of you. It's a representative of your business. Make sure your book looks the part. So get it nice. The interior, you want it nicely laid out. Nice design, you know. The font is looking right. So get the right layout person. What tends to happen with templates is that by the time you print it, your words gone all over the place. Yeah, it may look good in the Word format, but by the time it's printed, it looks wrong. Make sure you use high resolution pictures. If you're going to use images, high resolution, because after it's printed, it's not going to come out well. People are saying you have to have a hardcover book. You do not have to have a hardcover. A soft cover is perfectly fine. It's cheaper, because guess what? You want to economize as well when you're doing your marketing book, because you're going to be giving some away. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be giving some away. So make sure that you use high resolution images, and make sure that you can use soft cover. If you have the money to do hardcover, feel free, go ahead. But soft cover is perfectly acceptable. I guess at some point, another time, I will share with you more about doing your book launch and stuff like that, because obviously time is gone. I did promise you, however, that I would share my book with you. If I can quickly call my son, if you don't mind, I'm going to just come off the camera for just 2 seconds to quickly grab that book. Rashawn, look, can you see my book in my room? Pass it for me quickly. Quickly. My book that I've written. Got it. Okay, great. Sorry about that. I was a bit unprofessional, but I had to grab it for you guys. Right, so this is my second book. And this is where I was talking about the title. It's Rise Above and Believe. It's Doralei, but then I have the how-to, right? How to get rid of excuses and create the life that you desire. And the cover relates to the book, because it's about a man and a woman. And for those of you that have done NLP, you know that pain, about the pain side and the gain side. So I've made sure that the cloudy section is on the side of where your pain should be, and then the brighter section of, you know what, this is the desired life, this is where I'm going to rubbish, this is the desired life that I have, that I want. And I've made sure that it's angled in the right area so that it's not confusing. So when I'm talking about layout, it's okay, I have a copy. So when I'm talking about layout, you need it to look nice and decent. You need it to look, you know, official. Get your contents needed. So when we were talking about QR codes, this is what I was talking about. This is what a QR code is. Yeah? So with this QR code, when they scan this, it takes them straight to my book so that they can purchase it, my first book. So this is the QR code. As soon as they scan this, it takes them straight to the page where they can purchase my a copy of my first book, or they are able to purchase a downloadable version free. Yeah, so here is this image. So if you're going to use a QR code in your business book, here it is. So you can, when they scan this one will take them actually straight to my website. So they don't need to type in anything, because what tends to happen, sometimes they will type and something will happen and they don't get on. They don't get onto your page. It doesn't work. Sometimes someone might not even try again. They will try once, they don't try again. But at least with your QR code, once they scan it, boom, it takes them straight to your Twitter, it takes them straight to your Facebook, it takes them straight to your Instagram, it takes them straight to everything. And I can tell you now, to get this done, the QR code is absolutely free. Absolutely free. If there's anyone that wants me to share the link of where they can create the QR codes, I can put that in the share it in the link for you. As you can see in the first chapter, I shared who am I, and I have a quote here, and that's what I've done. And then I will quickly just show you images. So what I did with this book, I had a chapter where I shared about 10 different individuals that didn't allow excuses to get to them. And I have shared in here about a lady called Yasmin. She's in a wheelchair, and she's all over the world speaking. Guess what? She mentions my book because she's featured in it. Her story is in it. So she is quick to mention about my book. But her story related to what I was talking about. So you may be asking yourself, is it wise to share images in my book? Yes. Guys, you want to make sure your book is interesting and that you're giving enough information. You can share images like that. Live your dream. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be but you just need to make sure that the images that you use, you will have the rights to be able to use it. Yeah, and then at the back, what I did was provide link. Never ever write your book and not share how they can get in touch with your business, how they can, and what you can do is share a discount code. So they will have a discount code for purchasing your book. You purchase your book, what is inside? There's a bonus, there's a discount code. So guys, I've taken your time and it's reached an hour. So I'm gonna have to jump off. I do hope that you enjoyed the content that I shared with you. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to ask, feel free to message me. Feel free to get in touch with me to ask anything that's related to your business book journey. And it was great having you all, and I do hope that I shared some valuable content with you that will help you on your journey. I think somebody said to me that they want me to share the QR code link in the comment section, so I will do that. And it's so easy to do. You type your website address in, and then it automatically you click generate, and it generates the code for you, and that's absolutely done. Thank you very much, Dallas, for having me on here to share content with your members in your group. And you know what, I look forward to greater things ahead. So if you need any questions, feel free to join me. You can jump on my Facebook page and everything, my information is there, and I look forward to connecting with many more of you. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I remain yours truly, author Michelle Watson, speaker, business book creation mentor, and publisher, Vision to Success. It's Michelle Watson. On Facebook, it's author Michelle Watson, because so many Michelle Watsons were taken. So it's author Michelle Watson. On Facebook, it's author Michelle Watson. And you can look for me on there, and any questions, you can feel free to inbox me, and I will happily answer any questions that you have. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I look forward to speaking to some of you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.